Good moment.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to our daily contemplation. I'm Juna,
Sabine.
and we're from Synergy in Motion, living true to you and living true to a life that makes your heart laugh, living more of your magic, right? The mundane world is so mundane and status quo. We need to spice it up a little bit with some magic and a different reality. And we're all capable of that when we're being unique to us. So this is what we're all about. And today we are in a 6-part series. It's day 4. And we're exploring the 56th hexagram of the I Ching, which is an ancient text that has a lot of really cool wisdom in it. And it's all about the traveler, not letting the grass grow under your feet and keep on moving, okay? And in that, we're going to talk about today, shall we give it away? No. Let's ask you a question. When was the last time you binge-watched Netflix and felt terrible about it? Or
ate something because it tasted so good.
Or listened to head-banging music because you thought it would do something for you and you just had a headache after.
Or had sex with somebody because you thought it would feel so good and afterwards you felt like crap.
Yeah, so today we're talking about the 5 little chi thieves. The thieves that we have, and they are our 5 senses.
That comes from the ancient Chinese esoteric teachings that called the 5 senses the 5 thieves. Because when you fall into them and you ignore your awareness, they steal your life energy, your chi. And we gave you a couple of examples early on. And what I find is, do they steal our chi when we lose ourselves in the sensation of the 5 senses? They also override all of our other senses
and sensibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can't see it, then you don't believe it. You didn't hear it, and then you ignored the other awarenesses. Like in relationships, we see that a lot. That because people cannot see it, cannot hear it, cannot smell it, taste it, or don't have like that tactile sense for it.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It's not real. But their knowing tells them, hey, there's some change that is in the air that needs to change. Right?
So we have the spidey sense, and we have a thousands of other senses that we don't even talk about, and we lock in to these 5 senses, which can be the 5 thieves that steal our chi and steal the thunder, because that's the window that we're looking at. Like like what you said, like if you can't see it, touch it, taste it, it's not real.
Hear it, right? So today is an invitation to enjoy the 5 senses, because they're also a gateway into great enjoyment of this reality, but they're not the only ones. There's the sense for time, there's the sense for movement, there's the sense for color, there's the sense for life and living, there's the sense for sound, beyond the hearing, like the movement in the sound. There is so many more senses that we have available, and in those senses that are very unique to you actually slumbers your magic. Because we all have very different kind of senses and talents and gifts that when we awaken them beyond the 5 senses, your life starts to be even more magic. There is a magic that can awaken if you don't get distracted by your 5 senses. And we're not saying don't use them by any means, because of course, hey, chocolate cake any day. And sometimes it's 1 bite, other times it's 2 pieces, like what we talked about yesterday. But today we really want to invite you to go beyond those 5 senses. Don't let them steal your magic by being the only senses that you're using. And we always use more than our 5 senses, because otherwise we wouldn't be alive. You would be walking across the street, not being aware, hey, you might want to look to the left and right, or having that sense, it's not such a good time to go shopping right now into the busy shopping mall, or whatever it is. Like, there's an awareness in us all that can open up our reality to a world that is beyond the logical, the visible, the auditable, the olfactory, the kinesthetic, the...
I think you said them all. There's touch. 5 of them.
Yeah, those 5.
Yeah.
And it's really a joy to discover what is your unique sense, or what are your unique senses. Where do you have a sense that other people don't necessarily have, and that you could hone and play with and create with? That would be fun.
And just an example, because I like making it practical. So like one day we were sitting out on the deck, it was kind of dusky time, and I think both of us have a sense for skunks. Maybe because our dogs have been sprayed so many times, and so we're just sitting there, and it's like, I just said, let's go inside. We need to go inside. And I didn't smell anything yet. And I was like, okay, time to go in. And we all went in, shut the door, looked out, and there the skunks come by the bird feeder. And, they eat all the bird seed there. So it's just, you have these spidey senses, but if you were expecting, it's like, until I see the skunk, until I smell the skunk, I don't know that there's going to be a skunk. So I just like to paint the picture.
So symbolic, exactly. Right? How many times in your life have you not used your other senses and got skunked? Like
exactly. So like when you said sleeping with somebody, you thought it was a good idea. Well, maybe you got skunked on that one. Or just eating food that's eating too much, and all of the stuff where we indulge way too much. We love the stimulation, but then we don't know when enough is enough.
When is that stopping point that we talked about yesterday? And remember, it's not a right or a wrong way. It's really unique and individual to the moment. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. And that's, your senses will tell you beyond the 5 senses. Right? That you're knowing.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier this morning about the sensory deprivation tanks that people go in, or the samadhi tanks you were saying, and it just sensory deprivation, where you just clear out all of that, like that need and that desire to be stimulated all the time, and just rest in that, and then slowly come back into experiencing the senses. Like, what would that be like? I've never done that. I wonder what that would be like. But just how dependent we are. We create this incredible dependency, but they are the chi thieves when it goes overboard. And there's just so much more.
I mean, when you look at a lot of ancient traditions, they have used the deprivation of the different senses to actually bring forth a different talent, a different sense. Sometimes very crudely, by blinding people, by making them not hear, and other times where you go, like the Sufi tradition has the 40 days in a cave with no light and no other sound stimulation at all. So there is a wisdom in not listening to the 5 senses, to awakening the other senses, but you might not have to spend 40 days in a cave or blind yourself with a
like a
sword, like a fired sword or stuff like that.
Or a blindfold. That's like, come on.
I have some past lives coming up. Okay. Anyway, you get the point of just really expanding your language of your sensory reception, perception, and not just buying into the 5 senses. And overstimulating yourself with those and losing yourself within that. It's always about, when you lose touch with who you truly are, that you fall into the wave of life, the tumblings, and then it doesn't really create a fun and magical life. versus riding the wave and playing with it and enjoying it to the deepest, getting intoxicated, drunk on life and love, which is what we're going into the next 2 days, which I like. Cool, so let's take this moment and just take a deep breath into your belly and come home to yourself. And allow your 5 senses to be the 5 senses. And come to that quiet space within where you can allow yourself to perceive beyond those 5 senses. What are those? And you might not have a cognitive, logical awareness of them yet. Just invite yourself to explore how you perceive the world, how you can be in the world in a very, very different way beyond the 5 senses. There's a love story to happen, to be written, to be explored. And just for a moment, just drop your barriers and invite that awareness in.
And tap into the chi, the life force, like just underneath the belly button, the dantian, that center, that belly center, that energy center of you, and just check in to that life force within. What's happening there? And if it's a tiny little fleck, if it's a big energy ball, whatever it is, just allow it to grow, allow it to expand and be what it needs to be. This life force, this energy, chi. Allow it to grow within you. Cultivate it.
And let it hum. And trust that sense of life. And whenever it starts to deplete, just ask yourself, is now a good time to stop, to pause and change direction? Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. And
let us know what your extra senses are. I'm curious.
Yes, you can comment below. Let us know. We love hearing from you.
Absolutely.
So we will see you tomorrow at Synergy in Motion. And remember, you are creating a whole new world today. Bye for now.
Bye.